CLS Universe, Instagram world, must be Saturday. The Paradigm Shift, episode 9, the iconic articulate alligator David Meltzer, and special guest today. Y'all know the drill. Bring all popcorn ready, let's do this. Dave Meltzer, I see you, handsome. All the way from New Orleans, NOLA. What's up, cookie girl? Yes, CLS experience. Let's do this. Let's do this.
There he is, all the way from New Orleans. Woo!
I'm on the bayou, baby. I'm on the bayou.
Hell yeah. How is it out there?
Beautiful, man. This is the place I had my daughter's graduation, so it's been a big week for me and more importantly for her.
Yeah, and let me just start off by saying congratulations to your daughter. Unbelievable accomplishment. Her best is yet to come. She's just getting started. She's a chip off the old block. All blessings. Love you and love your family.
I love you, man. Let's get this party started.
Let's do this. And we have a special guest coming in a couple minutes. You ready for me? I see Brian now.
I'm ready, baby. Let's do this.
Okay. I saw you talking about having a mentor this week early on in life. It would be ideal. I think me and you both wish we had a mentor a little bit earlier in age. Talk about the significance of having a mentor.
Yeah, first of all, you should always have at least 3 mentors in your life, 3 people that sit in a situation that you want to be in. The easiest way to get to where you want to be is find someone that's already there and ask them for directions. But you also want to have coaches, and you also want to have teachers, right? A mentor is going to give the best of themselves, but a coach is going to bring the best out of you, and a teacher is going to teach you how to do it. So you need mentors, coaches, and teachers.
Love it. And you're one of my mentors, if not my number one. And that's why I love you so much. And also just for the audience, like everybody makes mistakes because we don't have all the knowledge. A mentor helps you minimize some of those because they give you experience, which is priceless. Lovely shirt, by the way, Big Dave. Woo!
That's the candy bar shirt. Exactly.
That's it. And real quickly, before the next question, did you go to Bourbon Street yet?
Oh, of course I went to Bourbon Street. We've had all types of fun down there, and we got a big celebration today. We've been all over New Orleans so far.
I love it. And I see Brian, we're going to bring you on in 2 minutes. Dave, talk about boundaries for a second. It's something that I'm working on. I'm a work in progress, under construction. What is one boundary that you've worked hard to put in place and has been very beneficial for you?
You know, I think the boundaries with actually my followers, my community, to understand what I can do and I can't do. Being a pleaser is part of the problem of creating boundaries. If you're a person who wants to help everyone, the best way you can help everyone is to make sure not only are you helping yourself, but you're creating boundaries on how best to help everyone. So for me, I have a bunch of free stuff that I do for certain people. I have group stuff that I do for certain people, and one-on-one stuff that I do with certain people. So there's not one person that approaches me that I don't have some solution for, whether it's, here's search.dmeltzer.com, search all my videos, or come to my free trainings, or ask me anything, or the CLS experience, or there's group stuff, or one-on-one stuff. And you can get that from the articulate alligator, the spiritual starfish, the energetic enigma, everything. We're here for you.
All right, I love it. You really are the articulate alligator today, especially. One more question, and we're going to bring Brian on. Talk about your thoughts. I saw you speak about this week, and it really hit home for me. Your thoughts on negative people.
Yeah, man. Negative people is like bad food, right?
Ooh.
You're intaking, all you do is eat at McDonald's every day, you're going to be sick. If all you do is surround yourself with the, fast food of the spirituality and negativity, you're going to end up sick. And so, look, we're intaking everything with all of our senses. So think of negative people and negative energy as bad food. And if you eat bad food every day, you're going to end up really sick.
You're on fire. You can't be stopped. I'm obsessed with you. Should we bring on Brian?
Bring him on.
Let's do this. Let's do it.
There we go, baby B.
Brian Bogert. I'm excited to have Brian.
He's a bad boy.
Yeah!
What's going on, gentlemen?
What's up, Brian?
With the mustache? Look at that thing.
Sometimes you just got to surprise people, David.
You
I love
surprised
it.
me, Mario. I love you, baby. Go, go, go.
Next time I see you, I'll give you a nice little mustache kiss on your cheek. Okay, brother?
Anytime you
Brian, I'm
want.
a big fan of yours. I'm so excited to connect with you today. Dave, from my audience that might not be familiar with him, give this man the introduction he deserves.
So Brian Bogert is one of my good friends, most importantly. We co-mentor each other. He teaches me so much about inspiration in life. Look, when you talk about a guy that enjoys the consistent everyday, persistent without quit, pursuit of his own potential, and God has touched him with favor, and he did it the same way. Oh, we're sorry about that. He did it the same way he did it to me by challenging us. And Brian, whoa, he had a great challenge when he was young, and I'm going to let him describe that story and how he not only overcame it, but he learned the lessons so he could share it with others.
Tell us, Brian.
All right, so here's the thing, guys. I'm going to keep this short and sweet for the sake of the story today. But my mom, my brother, and I went to our local Walmart to get a 1-inch paintbrush. As we were standing next to our car, waiting for my mom to unlock the doors, I hear that train, man. David's like hooting over there. Look at this. As I'm standing there waiting for my mom to unlock the doors, a truck pulls up in front of the store. A driver and middle passenger got out, and the passenger all the way to the right felt the truck moving backwards. So he did what any one of us would do. He scooted over to put his foot on the brake, but he instead hit the gas. Combination of shock and force threw him up on the steering wheel, up on the dashboard, and before you know it, he's catapulting 40 miles an hour across the parking lot right at us with no time to react. He hit our car, knocked me over, ran over me diagonally, left the tire, tore my spleen, left a tire track scar on my stomach, and continued on to completely sever my left arm from my body. So there I was laying on the parking lot on a 115-degree day in Phoenix. My mom and brother watched the whole thing happen. They look up and see my arm laying 10 feet away. Fortunately for me, my guardian angel also saw it. She saw the literal life and limb scenario in front of her, and she rushed immediately into action. She came over and stopped the bleeding on the wound, saved my life, and instructed some innocent bystanders to go inside, grab a cooler, fill it with ice, and get my arm on ice within minutes. Had she not done one or both of those things, I either wouldn't be here with you guys today, or I'd be here with you today with a cleaned up stump. Period, end of story. So here's the thing. I know for a fact that I have a very unique story. But the more time I've done this, the more I realize we all have unique stories. Here's the deal. What's important is that we pause and become aware of the lessons we can extract from our stories, and then become intentional with how do we apply them in our lives. So there's 2 quick lessons I'll share with you, and then we'll take the conversation wherever we want. The first is I learned not to get stuck by what has happened to me, but instead get moved by what I can do with it. And the second, I didn't realize until far later. You see, at 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 years old, I was the one having surgeries. I was the one going through therapy, but I was in a fog because I was being guided through the process. My parents, however, were not. They were intimately aware of the unceasing medical treatments, years of physical therapy. And the idea of seeing their son grow up without the use of his left arm was a source of great potential suffering for them. So they willed themselves day in and day out to do what was necessary, to do what was tough, to embrace the pains required to ultimately strengthen and heal me. So whether it was intentional or not, what they did was they ingrained in me a philosophy and a way of living, which was to embrace pain, to avoid suffering. And I believe when this is done correctly, that's also where we gain freedom. And so that's why I'm committing my life to hopefully impacting 1 billion people over the next 25 years. Because if we reduce the level of suffering on this planet, allow people to experience joy, freedom, and fulfillment, meaning they can stand on their own 2 feet as exactly who they are, confident and convicted in who they are, knowing the world's not going just to accept them for who they are, but embrace them for who they are, this world's gonna be a lot more beautiful place for our kids and our grandkids.
I love
Brian.
every second of this. You'd have to surge
Brian,
with
I
a smile
know-
off
I
my
know-
face.
Hey, can you hear me? Sorry, Brian, I got to say this.
Yeah.
You know, listening to your story, everybody thinks that people like you that have the mindset, the heart set, and the conscious trait, that strength in your life, that love, that light, that lesson, you think that your life is perfect. Not as perfect as that mustache, but perfect. How do you deal with the minutes and moments that life isn't perfect? You and I share, these conversations about, sometimes when things are going extremely well, like they do for us and for the CLS man up there, people think your life is perfect. Our lives are still not perfect. We just manage it in minutes and moments. What do you utilize now to manage the difficulties that you have today in those minutes and moments?
Great question.
Yeah, that's a great question. And, I always like to say I'm as imperfect as every perfect person on the internet, right? I've got all of these issues, and I deal with all the same stuff that you guys have. I know what it's like to feel isolated. I know what it's like to not feel worthy. I know what it's like to be the only one in a room. I know what it's like to be feeling down on myself and wondering if I can even go the next step and make it happen. And so I will tell you that for me, breath work has been one of the most powerful things. And there's really 3 words that have really helped me in the last few years center myself so I can be where my feet are and focus on what's right in front of me. Because it is minutes and moments, and we have to take it minutes and moments. What we know is that we can't live in the past, and fear of the future is often fabricated and not true. And so very often we've got to really just put ourselves into our minds and our bodies so that we know what's happening right now with a high level of awareness and a high level of intentionality. Those 3 words I shared with you, last Friday I tattooed them on my forearm. Trust, surrender, breathe. I put them on my forearm because I had them on a leather bracelet for the better part of the last year, and I realized how often those words centered me, how often those 3 words I needed to keep present. So why not put the ink in my skin? Now I can embody it from this moment forward. But I also do what I talked about, embracing pain. Here's the thing, David, you know, I've been going through some stuff in the last 8 weeks. Life has hit me hard in a bunch of different directions. I've been in more physical and emotional pain than I've been in different periods in my life. But guess what? Pain points us to what's important. Pain gives us perspective, and it tells us where we need to focus. And so right now in my life, I am literally embracing pains, physically, emotionally, relationally, business-wise, in every capacity, because there was suffering developing that I was unaware of. I was blind to. And once I became aware of it, the only thing I can do is step into it, own it, step into what I can do moving forward, not worry about why, but focus on what I can do on a future focused and objective perspective. Trust, surrender, breathe.
I love this so much. You guys, yeah, I thought I was passionate, Dave. Great fun with Brian. He's matching my inspiration today. I absolutely love it. Brian, I'm such a big fan. I love all this stuff. I got to ask you, my friend, because I was doing some homework on you this week, because obviously preparation breeds confidence, and I'm a huge fan of yours. I love everything that you're doing. You said something along the lines of elevate and empower by flipping negative emotions on its head. That stuck out to me. Tell the audience what you mean by that.
Yeah, so here's the thing. I think so many people are waiting to find a hero, waiting to find a savior, right? And the reality of it is we know that most people think they're stuck because of the wrong strategy and tactics in their life. Strategy and tactics only get you so far, period. Okay? What I have discovered in all the work that I've done with working some of the highest performers on this planet is that what keeps most people stuck is a combination of emotional triggers, behavioral patterns, and environmental conditioning that keeps them in that self-defeating place, right? So when we talk about elevating and empowering, what we see in so much of the world is people using negative emotions, fear, shame, guilt, anxiety, right? Scarcity, to highlight that there's a gap in people's lives. And then suggest to them that if they lean into their 7-step system, that they're going to have everything they ever needed. That's strategy and tactics. That's not emotional triggers, behavioral patterns, and environmental conditioning. What we do is we flip it on its head. We don't bring you in and get you dependent on what our programs are. We want to elevate and empower you, because the only way we impact 1 billion people is if we elevate and empower people to go do it on their own so they can elevate and empower others. We don't need people dependent on our systems. We want to teach people the path, show them how to go on that intrinsic journey, help them understand what those emotional triggers, behavioral patterns, and environmental conditioning are that have kept them there, right? And allow them to be future focused and objective so they can become exactly who they are. I don't want people around us unless we can create significant and sustainable impact, period.
Ooh, love that. Dave, I see you smiling over there. What's on your mind?
You know, I just want to point out one of the things, you know, I always talk about pain itself, and Brian is the expert at identifying the pain and go ahead and utilizing it, as he said, to become aware of what I'm supposed to focus in on, right? I talk about pain being an indicator, but I've never fully explained to people that the indication, in order to get to the better place, the better position, in order to see that GPS of faith that not only reroutes us, pain, but it moves the destination. See, that's what I love about faith, and that's on there in trust and surrendering. That faith that it takes to trust and surrender, that's what allows us to change the destination, unlike any other GPS. And so I want to make sure that I point out that pain is not just an indicator. It's an awareness of what we need to focus in on, prioritize through, as Brian stated in different words, what it is, who it is, how it is, now it is, and why it is, right? And when you know your what, your who, your how, your now, and your why, then you can overcome and reroute your life to a better place, a better situation, or make your situation better, no matter what happens in your life.
I love that. And that kind of segues into something Brian also talks about losing time and feeling drained if you don't have clarity on that why, right?
Yeah, I think so many people chase the wrong things. They aren't clear on who they are. They aren't clear on who they're doing it for. They aren't clear on who they're impacting. And so many things in this world, narratives in this world, to chase the what, right? What house, what car, what amount of money, what amount of success, what spouse, right? Everything that's defined externally based on what that success looks like. Focus on yourself. Who are you? How do you define success? I'll tell you mine. It's joy, freedom, and fulfillment. This right here, this is joy, freedom, and fulfillment. This is one of my pieces of fuel right here, this little beautiful unicorn sitting on my lap. I've got to be better every single day so that I can be better for her, be better for everything that's here. I know who I am. I know who I'm impacting. I know who I'm doing it for. She's one of them. And because of that, all the what's in my life are a manifestation of my who. So I always say who before what. It's not who, not what. It's who before what. They're both important. But if we really make sure that we understand that, then it's not about balance in our lives, because balance doesn't exist. It's about intentional alignment and integration in everything we do. We have one life. If we're clear on all the things that are important to us, we can allow it to ebb and flow as it needs to, so we can properly integrate, and it becomes self-regulating over time. We know what fits and what doesn't. That's where we don't waste time, because that's the only thing we can't create more of. It's the only finite resource, but we can cheat the system, we can bend time, and we can modify the way that we experience time so that we actually can seem like we're getting more.
Dave, this guy's on absolute fire. The intellectual iguana. I absolutely love it. He needs a nickname.
Yeah, he does. And there has to be the mustache master of masterminds. He's the incredible enigma himself. So it's amazing. I will say one thing about time. You know, all the what's and the who's and the how's that there are irrelevant if you don't have purpose, that enjoyment, the joy, the fulfillment that Brian talks about, that beautiful unicorn sitting on his lap. Blessed, you know, as I'm here choking up because my beautiful unicorn is old enough to have graduated college, and just so well I can see the seeds that I had planted are coming to fruition. She's going to be an incredible empowerment tool to help other people as well carry on with great appreciation, meaning adding value to all that she's learned here at Tulane, here from me and my wife. You know, I will tell you as a parent, crazy does work. So, you know, don't be afraid to be crazy with your kids. It works. There's no set rules and regulations in how to empower others, especially your own children, your own unicorns. Man, I am just so happy to be with two of the youngest and brightest minds that I know, the great Craig Siegel and Brian Bogert. You guys are amazing. You guys want to continue on? I'm going to jump. I got a meetup, just so everyone knows. I'm here on Jackson Square. I got a meetup at 9 a.m. Come join me. I'll get some hot seat coaching, Q&A, empowering the people of New Orleans with light, love, and lessons through the pain and experience that I've had. I love you both. I am proud of you, and I always got your back.
I
Love you too, brother.
Dave,
Thank
I love
you.
you. Congratulations to your family again. Brian, hang out for one more minute if you can.
Yeah, I will. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dave,
Go
love
ahead,
you, buddy.
Brian. Take
Enjoy
care.
NOLA.
See you guys.
Enjoy
You got
Bourbon
it.
Street. Brian, what's up, buddy?
What's up?
This is so much fun. And like I said, I've been a fan of yours for a while. I'm so happy Dave and I connected, and your passion, anybody could feel it. And I had a smile on my face the entire time because I love being around people like you and obviously Dave. I wanted to ask you, because also I saw you talk about this recently, and so many people are feeling stuck, and yet a lot of people have good ideas, but they don't take action. They're afraid to execute it. Why is that, and how do they get over that?
Yeah, so I think you know, ideas are also even like feelings. I think the world has told so many of us that our ideas and feelings aren't worthy of being heard, right? Because they don't fit into the box. And so, you know, that I don't think that's the only, but more times in your life than you can probably count, and you've continued to stand back up. So you are a survivor. Now you just need to shift to position yourself as a thriver. But the fact that you're here shows me that you know how to stand back up. And so when that starts to take place, it should suggest to you that everything that's ever been thrown at you, you've been able to handle. So what is it that you actually have to fear? Nothing. Because nothing will cross your path that you are not able to handle. So take action and put it into play.
That's right. And for everyone that is on here, is going to watch this a little bit later, simply put, what Brian's suggesting and driving home is, you are worthy for the life that you desire, for all the things that you want. You are authentic. You are your own unicorn, so to speak. You are worthy. The only thing stopping you is you. And once you really buy into that and associate not taking that shot with something as deep as death, then the only thing left to do is take that shot. And obviously, I know that I'm as authentic as I've ever been right now, because now looking back, I wasn't always like this. I wasn't always this alive, so to speak. I've never been more Craig Siegel than I am today. It's a good feeling. And I guess sometimes you connect the dots by looking backwards, but there really is no other better feeling than being as authentic as possible, right?
Oh, dude, it's freedom. I mean, it's freedom. When you don't have to worry about how you show up, but you can just be consistent in every area of your life, it's freedom. And when you start to realize, I mean, dude, honestly, that's where this mustache came from. I started rocking a mohawk a few months back, and then my wife was like, hey, you should try a mustache. I was like, I don't know if I can grow a mustache. I don't know if that'll look good. And then all of a sudden I started growing, and I was like, huh, this feels pretty good. you know what? It might not always feel good. This might not always be me, but right now it makes my heart happy. So just like I talk about with my kids, if it makes my heart happy, I'm going to do it. And I'm not going to worry about what the world has to say about it. I have to live by example so that these little ones can witness that and realize that they just need to do what makes them happy and not worry about what the world says to them. That's exactly right. We are worthy. You are worthy. Go get it, because when you're free, when you're authentic, when you're aligned, life is so much easier. You move faster with less effort.
So much better. You're on absolute fire there. We're going to wrap it up with this one last question. How do people, because I see you talk about this and always hits home for me, how can you remove that shame barrier that keeps some of us in shackles?
Yeah, so I think, again, I talk about emotional triggers, behavioral patterns, and environmental conditioning. I think shame is a really, really deep one. You know, shame boxes us in. Shame literally hits us on both sides, because it says on one side, you're not worthy and you're not good enough. And on the other side, and Brene Brown outlines this best, is when you shut that down, you show up in the arena and you're ready to go to battle. It's who do you think you are? I suffered from shame for a long period of my time, and I still feel that shame trigger. The thing is, with shame, with fear, with guilt, with anger, like, you never actually escape them. You don't actually shut them off. They're an adversary always in pursuit. So you've got to be vigilant and aware in every single moment so that you can understand what it is. The first is you have to understand and identify what is that root emotion. So in this case, we're talking about shame, right? Once you understand the emotion that's impacting you, start to then ask the next question: what is the root of that emotion? You need to find the root or roots of that emotion so that you can then start to really understand how have those patterns started to shape your life. Once you do that, you need to start to understand, how does it manifest and feel in your body, right? For me, shame can feel like a racing heartbeat. It can feel like a heat moving over my body. It can feel like defensiveness. It can feel like perfectionism. It can manifest in so many different ways. And so I need to understand in those moments, how does it manifest in my body? Then we need to start to understand where and how are my triggers, right? So once I understand how it's in my body, what are the things that trigger me to feel that way? And then ask in those moments, is it true? Is it true? Right? Are the narratives that I've created for my life around shame actually keeping me stuck? Or is it the fact that I'm conditioned because of something that happened 25 or 30 years ago? Is what's right in front of me actually triggering shame? Or is it the look that was on their face that took me back to a time when I was 5? I mean, here's the thing. You have to understand what those triggers are. Sometimes they are true. Sometimes you do have to pay attention to them. But once you start to move through that, then you just have to pause, take a breath, and realize that you can create a new pattern by making a different choice in that moment.
That's right. We'll leave it out with that. You got gems, you got nuggets. I'm so happy that you and I connected here today, Brian. Trust me when I tell you, this will definitely not be the last time you and I collaborate. For my CLS audience who might not have been familiar with you before today, where can they find you? Where can they keep up with you? Where do you hang out the most?
I'm at Bogert Brian on all social media channels. You know, the truth is, too, to impact 1 billion lives, we want to make sure that 99.99999% is never going to pay us $1. We're very aware of that. And so we put a lot of free content out. The thing I would just add, anything that you like, you see anything that resonates, just like, comment, and share, because it's going to take collective impact to get to that 1 billion lives, and I'm going to need all the help I can get. So we're going to put a lot of good into the world. Let us know if and how we can help. And Craig, man, it's been a true pleasure. I've been a fan of yours for a long time, too, and I'm looking forward to doing future collaborations because, man, I'm not sure people can handle our fire bottled up together.
Definitely not. I can't wait to share a stage with you, my friend. Have the best weekend ever. Nobody deserves it more. Have fun with the unicorn. So much fun today, and we'll catch up soon.
Craig, thank you. Be blessed, brother. We'll talk soon.
Likewise, brother. Take care. That was too much fun. The iconic articulate alligator, Big Bad Dave Meltzer, the intellectual iguana, Brian Bogert. It's Saturday. Everyone get out there, put out, sharpen the axe. If you haven't already, we sold 100 courses, 100 breakthroughs this week. CultivateLastingSymphony.com, the Moonshot Masterpiece Experience online course, reframe your life, learn how to sell, learn how to build relationships, learn how to build a business and explode your brand, change what you associate pain and pleasure through, modeling, anchoring. I love you all so much, and it's weird. I see you, Alexandra. I see you, Jessica, Rachel. Yeah, I love you all so much. Let's get it. Chicago Marathon. I'm not training for you. You're training for me. Let's go.